Sorry about that. So part two, how and why does this happen? How does somebody end up with this change in their chromosome number where they have 3 chromosomes instead of just the pair they're supposed to have? So one of the causes is something called a nondisjunction. Nondisjunction is when one or more chromosomes fail to separate properly. Therefore, when one gamete ends up getting both chromosomes and the other gamete gets none. So what that means is, let's say you have, when how should I put this? Sometimes when gametes are being formed, you end up, there may be a moment or a genetic quirk, that's how I like to call it sometimes, a genetic quirk where, let's say that this sperm cell would have an X, and then this is the egg, it would have X. So then this, when these fuse, when these fertilize, you end up with a genetic female. However, there may be a condition where one of these gametes actually gets 2 chromosomes, and then when they fuse, when they get fertilized, the next person is going to have 3 chromosomes at a particular one. Not necessarily in the sex chromosomes, but maybe in the autosomes as well. So another trisomy is called Edwards syndrome, and that's trisomy 18. It's more frequently seen in females than males. Granted, it's not too common, but it's well known. You have severe mental retardation, something called rocker bottom feet. So if you can imagine, like if this is supposedly a chair, and then you have, like if you're able to rock back and forth like that, whatever. That's supposed to be a chair, by the way. So if you notice, their foot actually curves up like that. That's a rocker bottom foot. Micrognathia, that refers to a small recessed jaw. And then if you notice, clenched hands with overlapping fingers. So right there. They also are known to have congenital heart disease. So basically heart disease, heart problems when you're born, and something called a horseshoe kidney. And that's what that looks like, a specimen looks like, a horseshoe kidney. So instead of having 2 kidneys, like 2 beans like this, you end up having one that's shaped like a horseshoe. And this is known to cause problems, especially what happens when the kidneys are, because normally when in development, kidneys ascend to their positions that they're normally at. However, this gets blocked by one of the major blood vessels, and so it can't really move up. And our last trisomy is trisomy 13, and it's called Patau syndrome. There's a reason why I bolded the P, Patau. So it is associated with congenital heart disease and cleft lip and palate. This one, as opposed to Edwards, is actually seen in males more than females. And some symptoms: severe mental retardation, microcephaly, meaning a small head, clenched hands with overlapping fingers, polydactyly, another P word, there you go, and something called holoprosencephaly. So what does this mean? Basically, if you notice, prosen right here, prosencephaly, prosencephalon, that's the forebrain. So instead of having 2 halves of a brain, like 2 hemispheres, holoprosencephaly means it's actually just 1 whole hemisphere. I will tell you though that some babies with Patau syndrome, if they only have 1 brain, technically not, well, they have 1 brain, but they only have 1 whole hemisphere, 1 whole sphere, as opposed to 2 hemispheres. So that means it's a possibility that some other organs may actually also be only 1 when they're supposed to be 2. So for some babies, however, when they're born with only 1 eye, and this is called cyclopia. Kind of like the Cyclops in Greek mythology, Cyclops the X-Men. Hopefully you know that one. If not, it's okay. So cyclopia, that's having 1 eye. So Patau's, cleft lip and palate, microcephaly, holoprosencephaly, polydactyly, cyclopia, severe mental retardation, Edwards, and down. Make sure you guys know whatever symptoms, associations they have with them. Make sure you know the numbers as well. So somebody was like, oh, how do you remember it? And I was like, well, just know it. But so like you say DEP, D-E-P, 21, 18, 13. That's one way to remember it, I guess. I don't know. I guess it makes sense to them, but like whatever. So make sure you guys know these. I will ask you questions about these for sure on our little quest we're going to have. So what is a mutation? So basically it's a change in chromosome structure. There are a few different ways that this can happen. Deletion means a part of a chromosome breaks off completely. Makes sense. Duplication, chromosome fragment attaches to its homologous chromosome. Inversion, a chromosome piece reattaches but in reverse orientation. And translocation. Piece reattaches to a non-homologous chromosome, meaning it gets reattached to a chromosome that it's not similar to, or has a similar structure or shape or size or whatever. So it's a completely different one from the pair. Duplication means it attaches to the chromosome it's kind of paired with, quote unquote. So that is it for now for chapter 6. There's still another video I'm going to be posting, so keep an eye out for that. But anyways, hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you in class. Bye.